I want to ask Majora Carter to speak and say two other things. She is the recipient this past year of one of the MacArthur Genius Awards. And we congratulate her. I want to thank her for not giving up on the South Bronx and for this commitment to building an urban forestry network. One of the things that we have to do in the campaign against climate change is to rebuild the greenery of urban centers all across the world. And because of some faulty accounting and a little bit of sometimes not entire candor, the idea of offsetting greenhouse gas emissions with sinks or trees and other greenery has sort of fallen out of favor in the United States. I think it's a big mistake. Most of our major cities have lost huge amounts of their forest cover in the last 30 years, and this is also true all around the world. So what these people are doing is important not only to one of our poorest communities, showing belief in that and belief that the people there have a right to go up in nature and healthy surroundings. It also could set an example which I hope every city in America and then eventually throughout the world will follow. We have to go back and re-green our cities if we expect to tackle climate change and give all of our kids a healthy future. So I give you all the floor. Thank you.
I am deeply grateful for the support that we received. Thank you very much. But I have to say I'm impressed but not that surprised that President Clinton was able to bring together the kind of people through CGI that actually expect to make a difference in this world today. And so I'm honored to be here because poverty exists all over this world. You know, we don't have to travel very far. The South Bronx is less than 2 miles away from here. And yet we are one of the poorest places in this entire country. We are also, because of the pollution that we deal with on a daily basis, we're also one of the most toxic. We're also one of the places that has the most public health problems. This particular project is going to allow us to train young people from our community, from one of the most underemployed communities in the entire country. We've got a 25% unemployment rate. It's going to allow us to have people that have both a personal and financial stake in the environment of their own community. So that big pollution cloud that we're building over this world, you know, is starting in the South Bronx as far as we're concerned, because we see 60,000 diesel truck trips a day. We've got 4 power plants and the emissions from several different other kinds of facilities. And what we're trying to do by greening our little small part of our community is to set a very powerful example for what can be done when the community actually does work with our government, with the private sector, to actually create some power where there wasn't any before. So thank you very much for everything.
You make reforesting communities like the South Bronx and denuded nations like Haiti a part of your commitment, and President Clinton, how do you think you can bring the kind of work that Wangari Maathai and Majora Carter are doing to the mainstream? How do we lift up the environmental justice movement and mainstream it in a way that that the nation hasn't seen and the world hasn't seen?
Well, I mean, just a quick. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're running a sort of ethical.
So I don't think we know exactly how to answer your question, but we know we have to do it. And this, the example in the Bronx ought to become a tidal wave. And then one other thing I want to say, let's don't patronize poor people one more time and assume they don't care about a clean environment and assume that they wouldn't rather have their kids play under trees in the park and assume they can't figure out how to do this.